Morning, everybody. Thanks to everyone who joined us so promptly. Sorry to keep you waiting there for a few minutes while we just let everyone get in the room. Welcome to our introductory webinar about our Green Heritage Future Leaders Programme. I'm James Diamond. I'm the chair of the forum, and I'm just going to introduce, they put their cameras on perfectly on time, my other colleagues from the Midlands Parks Forum who are going to be talking to you today. So Lauren, if you'd like to wave. Lauren's our newest employee of the forum and will be leading on this programme and gradually taking over a role managing the forum as a whole as well from Alison. Fliss is one of our trustees and has been talking a bit this morning about some elements of the programme, and Alison, as I'm sure many of you know, has been steering the forum for many years now. So thanks all for being here today. So first of all, it's thanks to National Lottery Heritage Fund funding that we're here today. So we're really pleased to have accepted and been awarded funding from them that's going to make this programme possible. We hope this might be the first of maybe other programmes that we can also run along these lines. I should also say we were expecting, as Lauren mentioned earlier, Kathy, who we'll talk about briefly as our training partner from the Directory for Social Change. But unfortunately, she can't make it this morning, but Lauren's going to cover her slides and explain about their role. We've got a few slides to run through just to give you an outline of the programme today, when we're going to start, what the programme is going to cover and how you can sign up. We'd really encourage questions. This webinar is being recorded. There's quite a number of people who have signed up so they can get the recording, but it'll also be available on our website. So please do put questions, probably I think in the Q&A, makes sense. We will then pick them up at the end. We'll either ask you if you'd like to verbalise your question and just explain or elaborate on it a bit further, but if you don't want to, that's fine. We'll pick it up as it is and we'll answer it. If we do get too many, we'll do some written responses, and we'll certainly be issuing some paperwork afterwards so that you can see a sort of FAQs about the programme today. And the final thing before we crack on is really to say that this is an additional piece of work for us, which is why we're pleased to have both Lauren and Alison, working on Midlands Parks Forum at the moment. But it is business as usual for the next year or so and beyond for the forum. This doesn't take away from our day job as a charity that's acting as a green space network for all of you, for our members. So yeah, it's great news in that respect. So I think we will move on to the next slide. Start telling you a bit about that Alison's going to tell you a bit about the background and how we got here today.
Lovely, thanks James. Great to see you all here today. Yeah, my role here is just to give you a little bit of background about how we got here and how we've been sort of planning this programme for some time. Around 2022, it's absolutely flown by, but we worked with a local consultant, a heritage consultant, to create our skills and competencies framework. So that was to make sure we absolutely delivered everything that was relevant to your roles. Our report used research from APSI, from the Landscape Institute, from various reports to look at what sort of learning skills and competencies were essential for your roles. Sorry, a little bit of background noise there. Hope you can hear okay. Please let us know if you can't. Yeah, so we came up with this enormous document of 60 key skills and competencies that you're challenged with every day. And those are our 6 headings you can see on the screen there. So we cover everything from the environment to people and communities, all those operational issues, and how you manage your income and performance, the daily challenge on limited budgets. And that's formed the basework of everything that we do. So all our learning events that we organise are based around that, and we try and make sure that those outcomes fit those key skills for you. So using that as a framework, we then began to engage with our members, with professionals, gathering more data about your jobs, about your roles, your challenges, your opportunities. And we began to meet with other organisations who delivered similar training programmes so that we were really clear from the outset what we wanted to achieve. We had lots of support from National Lottery Heritage funding officers, engagement officers in our region, and we began to develop and refine our concept plans, which changed and evolved as time went on. And from that, we realised it was not about a revolving door of training. And what we run in parallel, our normal events are great because anybody can sort of dip in and out to meet their needs. But this is slightly different, where we create a cohort of learners together. You learn together, you network together, and you are given more support and mentoring, and a very different concept really. We then use that concept and we engage with managers around the country. So we ask green space managers, does this look good to you? Would you support your staff in this? Does the content look right? Do the training sessions look right? And they gave us their feedback. That helped us even more to sort of define those training sessions, and to also prioritise the ones that they felt were really needed for leadership and management in the 21st century. We asked them some other key important questions, like, would you release your team member who you might nominate for this training? Would you release them on a monthly day release? Because that's how we plan to run the programme. It's not going to be intensive, it's not going to be a week away, but it's going to be modelled so that it fits in with your other challenges in your day job. So we asked them about that. We asked them about their toleration of fees, because what we do intend to charge is very small in comparison to the actual cost. And obviously we've got National Lottery to thank for their support in this. And we also asked managers whether they envisaged a future project where this could be really helpful. So taking our learners really from stage one of, a concept of a project, looking at master planning and all those elements that you need to deliver a successful lottery project or a project within your local organisation. And obviously we were in touch constantly with National Lottery Heritage Fund, and they then suggested that we had a training partner on board, so that we used our expertise in knowing you well, supporting you well, but then we actually got an expert on board who really understood setting up new learning programs. So we tendered for that opportunity last summer, and then we submitted an application to Heritage Fund late summer, and we announced it at our conference in November. So that's sort of a real snapshot of the background. We can obviously answer more questions on that today and in coming weeks if you need to know more. But yeah, that's how it is. So I was going to hand over to Kath, but I believe that will now be Lauren. So thanks, Lauren, for that.
Thank you. Yeah, Kathy is sorry she can't be here. And we can provide for everything other than teams actually working on the day we want it to work. So Kathy is our training partner, and I'm sure you'll meet her in the near future. But she comes from an organisation called Directory of Social Change. Isn't just Kathy working on our project, it's also her team as well. And they've got 50 years of kind of experience working in the not-for-profit sector. And as Alison said, helping to set up these kind of learning programs and delivering training themselves. So how they're going to kind of work alongside us to run the program is helping to construct a fluid and purposeful program. So making sure that everything's cohesive and is kind of trainer friendly, helping us source the trainers. They're not green space sector kind of professionals, so they actually bring like an outside voice to the work that we're doing. They're also going to be contributing to the support around the program, so they might be communicating on behalf of us. They'll be giving guidance to learners. They'll be making sure that the materials we're using are all in accessible formats, and they'll also be managing and delivering parts of the mentoring provision, which kind of sets the programme out from others. And that is quickly what Kathy sent me. I think we can talk more about their kind of, if you've got any questions, we can pass them to Kathy after this, and we can put some in our frequently asked questions document. But please kind of feel free to ask questions, and we'll do our best to answer in her absence. You've got me again, sorry, which is not the plan. But the majority of the sessions we're going to be running are going to be face-to-face. We'll use a mixture of locations across the Midlands, and they'll be chosen to enhance that session topic. We are still in the middle of planning and designing the sessions, but we hope that it will just be a small amount of pre or post work to complete for each of those sessions. Not going to be kind of too onerous a task outside of the session days. We will do our best to keep the sessions outside of school holidays. So if you're trying to manage that, then we will kind of look across the Midlands and manage those sessions outside of the holidays. The online sessions that we'll run will be half days, and just for practicality reasons, I'll probably end up being in the winter months when travelling becomes a little bit more challenging. And I'm going to run through the programme and the sessions we're offering. Alison has obviously already said that we've created the sessions after consultation with the sector. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here because I don't want to keep you all day, but we're happy to answer any questions if you want to know more about each of the sessions we're running. So we'll be looking at a strategy for a heritage project. As the title of the programme suggests, green heritage is a really important part of what we're doing. We're actually going to run 2 sessions on this. Excuse me. So we'll be looking at horticulture, historical and architectural features, designated protected landscapes, industrial, urban and rural heritage, Green Flag Heritage Awards and heritage landscape interpretation. We'll also be covering project management, nature recovery, fundraising for your project, commercial planning, placekeeping, so really getting to grips with engaging your community in your project, the monitoring and evaluation of a project. Mentoring, as we've mentioned a couple of times, is a really important part of the programme. Learners will be involved in group mentoring, but we'll also have the option of some one-to-one mentoring during the programme as well. Something to look forward to at the end of the programme will be a celebration event. And I really hope that the cohort of learners get an opportunity to kind of design and deliver what that looks like, because we will be celebrating all that they've achieved over the 12 months. As part of our process, the learners will be part of evaluation, and kicking off at the start of the programme in June, we'll have an induction, so the cohort of learners can meet each other, and Kathy and I can share kind of all the details and the information that will help kind of you be ready for session 1 of the programme. Okay. Fliss? I think you're still on mute, Fliss.
Thank you. So as everyone's probably already realised, there are many benefits for both programme attendees and employers. The training is completely bespoke and has been carefully designed to support leadership, sustainability in the green space sector. As a cohort of learners coming from different backgrounds with varying levels of knowledge and experience, there'll be plenty of opportunity to learn from each other. Throughout the programme, there'll be continuous support for learners from DSC, the training partner, Midlands Parks Forum and other experienced green space professionals. Attendees will also benefit from Midlands Parks Forum membership, which includes lots of networking opportunities, regular newsletters, webinars and learning events, which some of you may have already attended and hopefully know the benefits of. For employers, the programme will improve the skills and knowledge within your team, enabling you to better protect and manage green heritage. It aims to help create a more sustainable future for your organisation in terms of leadership. Being part of this first cohort of learners also allows you to benefit from the heavily subsidised costs thanks to the National Lottery Heritage Fund. Having worked in the sector for almost 20 years and currently at Derby City Council, I can truly see the benefit of this programme, and I wish in my younger years that there was something around that there was this bespoke. As an authority, Derby City Council, we're looking to put 2 members of our team forward in the application process. Back to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Beth. So you've heard it all now. We're going to be running at least 12 sessions delivered by experts and industry professionals, a really high quality training course with the addition of mentoring and peer-to-peer learning and the networking. We feel it really offers great value for money. Kathy is not here, but she wouldn't mind me telling you that to attend a one-day course delivered by DSC, it would cost £300. A little housekeeping just here on this slide is just to say that you will be invoiced in full for the full cost, but no invoices will be sent until after the 30th of April and until your place has been confirmed. So the price you pay will be dependent on when your application is received. So any applications received between today and the 2nd of April, you will pay that early bird price, and any after that and before the 30th of April will be the full price. But no invoices will be sent until after the 30th of April. For any organisations that are on the call who are non-members of Midlands Park Forum, then it's the programme cost plus the membership cost. All our membership information is on our website. We didn't want to go through it all here today, but Alison or I are happy to answer any questions about that, or you can go over to the website to kind of see all that information. And James.
Okay, thank you guys. That was good wrap up and summary. So I'm hoping that's piqued a bit of interest with people who are listening today. Obviously, in terms of what the programme entails, Lauren's given a great overview of the sessions that we are looking to put on, the topics we want to cover, but is obviously just a very, very brief run through of those topics. So we will obviously be issuing more information about those as it's developed. And, you know, she gave you one example there of what the Green Heritage particular session, which actually I think will be 2 sessions, will cover. But we've tried to make sure through previous learning, previous research, that we're covering those kind of key topics that we know green space professionals, you know, have to get to grips with every day, and sometimes there can be real challenges. I think it's really exciting. We're really looking forward to delivering this. You know, the fact that it's going to be a cohort of learners going through it together, a sort of peer network in itself, will be really, I think, valuable. I personally have experienced training programs in the last couple of years that worked on that basis and found that element of it, that networking and that learning together, was almost as valuable as the training itself at times. So that's really important for us, and we hope it really represents really good value for money, and it's thanks to the lottery funding that we're able to do this at such a subsidised cost. So this QR code takes you to a web page on the Midlands Parks Forum website, where you'll be able to find the application form, of course. But it will also give you some information. Today's webinar recording will go up there after today. Our FAQs will be published there in due course. There's a flyer you can download as well at the moment if you want to share it with other members of the team. So really, I think that's probably all there is to say about the programme before we jump into a couple of questions, really. So please do raise your hand. So just in terms of the couple of questions in the chat so far, Jill, yes, we'll be sharing the webinar link, the recording from today, but we can, I'm sure, make this PowerPoint available as a download as well, or as a PDF. Alison, we are looking at a cohort of up to 30 participants in this first tranche. That is what some of our maths has been based around, I suppose, but we also don't want to have too large a cohort, of course, that then puts the value of what people are benefiting from at risk, I suppose, of having too many people. Okay, so we've got one hand up, and I can't, because of the way my screen's laid out, actually see who it is. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and ask your question. Oh, Lucy.
Hi, I'm Lucy from Hybrid Park in Birmingham. I'm keen to know who is this course for? Is it for people at the beginning of their green heritage journey, or is it people with established careers in that field? Who do you think are going to be the candidates for these places?
Yeah, really good question. So we are aiming this at sort of, I suppose, early to mid-career professionals. So it might be that you've got someone relatively new into the team who doesn't either have the experience yet or has come from a different background, and therefore, as Fliss said earlier, where else can you find a course that covers all of that kind of background topics that we know green space officers need to know these days? Or it could be someone who's got some experience but needs to brush up on certain areas, and because they haven't had a chance, or they're facing challenges in certain parts of their role, whether it's a project they want to get off the ground, and they benefit from this training. So it's certainly not, people are at a very advanced level in their green space career. It's more the introductory and middle stage. The other thing I'd say is we're going to be asking participants to think about a case study during the program, so they can bring along a case study that they almost develop through the learning along the way. So maybe that's a loftier bid or a future restoration project or something else that they want to get off the ground, but they just don't quite know how, or they haven't got the skill set at this point to do so. Does that answer your question?
It does. I'm thinking about our small teams that I know work across a lot of parks, and I'm thinking it's focusing around management and logistics and fundraising and kind of project management, which is often a bought-in skill for a lot of these projects from project management background organisations. And I'm just trying to think about what's the sort of job role of the staff that you're expecting to come to this course. We've got colleagues from city councils. I'm just trying to picture, who are this cohort likely to be, really, from our smaller organisations that really have that kind of view on management, but also view on the groundwork.
Yeah, understood. And I think one of the examples we as a team have talked about, for example, is what many people would call a green space development officer or green space officer in general, where we know that role these days is so broad in terms of the different elements of green space development and management that it can have to deal with. Everything from, I've got a heritage site over here with that's a protected landscape, or it's got a listed feature on it, or over here I've got a playground, and over here I've got to find something I've got to find funding for, or I've got a community group, or all of those things probably. And actually that's what we're trying to tackle is, actually how do you have enough experience and expertise to manage all of those things together, and prioritize them, find the funding at the same time, and develop projects and drive them forward, because there is such a breadth that someone in that quite broad-ranging role has to take on.
Can I just add something in there, James?
Yeah,
Lucy, it's really relevant. And when we did one of our consultations around this, so we worked with a group at one of our visits. It was actually at Stafford, and it stuck with me because one of the participants there, who is just a as James has described, a green space officer that has to cover everything. And I remember them saying, I just want to be confident enough to sit down if I'm meeting with a consultant and sort of have a bit of an overview over everything, because they'd not come from horticultural or an environmental or scientific background. They come from a different area, but they're suddenly faced with all these challenges in green space. And that sort of stuck with me, really, that I might not want to be a manager, but I do want to enhance my leadership skills, and I want to be confident going into a room, understanding a bit more about everything, be able to meet with my elected member, or a steering group at the council or my trust or charity or wherever they work. And I think that's what we've tried to do. Is this is not a degree level. You're not going to do deep dives for months into everything. It's that sort of package, and we want to bring all that together to really develop those interpersonal skills as well, if that makes sense, Lucy.
That does make sense. Thanks very much.
Okay, so just picking up a couple of the other questions. So Adrian, obviously, we've mentioned in terms of the number of places. Now, if we have more applications than places, it's something we've discussed as a team. We'll see that one of the, a couple of the questions we ask in the application form are about people's backgrounds and what they hope to achieve from the programme. So one of our real priorities, and that we've, agreed with the lottery, is that this is about need. So we want to make sure that those in the greatest need get a chance to come on the programme. So it's not necessarily first come, first served if we are oversubscribed. And because we feel it's really good value, we're hoping actually that there will be a good deal of interest. Eleanor, do you need to have a project in mind ahead of the training? No, not necessarily. I mean, it will be of benefit, and we will ask people to think about a project or a case study, but it's not compulsory. It could be something that the training itself gives you an idea for a project that you hadn't previously felt was, you had in mind, or that you felt able to tackle even, or know how to start off. So we recognise that not everyone's got a list of projects waiting to go. It might be that this programme is what helps you develop that list in the first place. So hope that answers that. And then question about how many years it will continue. So we've just got the lottery funding at the moment for this first programme, first year. It's very much, I suppose, we are being optimistic and seeing this as a pilot in many ways, because we think if this is successful, we feel there's a demand and a need out there for this, then it's something we'd love to replicate in the future, subject to funding. What we can't promise is that the cost will be so heavily subsidised in the future, and it's thanks to lottery funding that it is this year. If the organisation you work for can't financially support it, yes, you can absolutely apply yourself as an individual. Again, the application form asks you that question. So we ask you, are you applying with your employer's support? That's both from a financial point of view, but also, are they going to give you the time, release to attend? So actually, if it's you were choosing to pay for this yourself, then as long as the employer is supportive and you've got the time to attend and get to all of the sessions, that's absolutely fine. We recognise that not all employers, depending on their scale, situation and so on, will be able to support financially, but they might be able to with time. So I hope that answers that. The team, if there's anything else you want to chip in on any of those, do say. Otherwise, any other questions for anyone, please do raise your hand or stick them in the chat.
Stony silence.
Stony silence must mean we've done a great job of heading off all the questions ahead of them. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, then I think, we can wrap up. Lauren, Chris, Alison, is there anything else you want to add today in terms of next steps from here, other than for people to go ahead and have a look at the website and get some more information, share it with your colleagues, share it with others that you know of? We'll be keeping promoting this on our LinkedIn and other media and on our emails. Obviously, we know the key question a lot of people have had until this point is about what the programme itself is. So hopefully we've given you a bit of an overview of that. And Lauren, do you want to just mention what information we sent out after today's webinar as well?
Yeah, so we'll keep updating the website page, which that QR code goes to. After today, everybody who signed up will get an automatic reply with the recording of this, I will add the slides in for the person who asked about slides. There'll be a frequently asked questions sheet that will also go up, again, answering some of the questions that have come today and some others that we've thought about. There's also a video that kind of explains a little bit about the programme. And basically you'll just continue to hear from me until that deadline looms. So we encourage you to get your application in by early April. And I think that's it. Application form is on there as well. So and a flyer, so that if you are here as an individual and you want to kind of go to your manager, that you'll have some information on there, which has got all of kind of a snapshot of what we've shared today.
Great. Alison, do you want to just say and then Lucy, you've got another question, I think, perhaps.
Yeah, I was just going to add that it's that time of year again anyway for membership. It's just all come together. So we will be sharing information to members, to existing members, about membership and Membership Plus. That's coming out in the next couple of days. So our Membership Plus, as many of you know, enables you to do just one purchase order, and that covers you and your colleagues to attend any of our learning events throughout the year. That's the in-person events in the Midlands and any webinars that we hold or training events. And it also enables you to purchase your 2026 conference place as well, which will be in the West Midlands this year. We're just finalising all that. So you can do it all, and it covers all your training needs in one convenient transaction. So that was it from me. That's the sales pitch.
Thanks, Alison. Lucy, did you have another question? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, how do you apply to be one of the locations for the training?
Yeah, so if you look at well, actually, we'll put it back in the chat, or I think it was in the Q&A, but we've got Lauren's email address. You can drop her a note. It's training@midlandsparksforum.co.uk. So we are on the lookout for venues now, anywhere that's got easy to get to, ideally, practical, and got interesting, green space on the doorstep. In particular, we're looking for ideas, obviously, as a forum ourselves and a network. We know there's some fantastic, and we know a lot of great parks ourselves, but anyone who's got a suitable venue within a park, even better. So do let us know if you've got ideas for that as well. Thanks. Great. So thank you everyone for coming today. Feel free to, if you've got other questions after you've had a look at the information, or look to the webpage, which I'll put the training, the link for in the chat, do drop us a line. We'll be continuing to share this. Please do share it amongst your network